In this video, we have Coach Nick Williams. Nick Williams is the defensive line coach. You guys know Coach Prime has built his defense from the outside in. The most important position on the football field, in my opinion, is the offensive line and the defensive line. It's in the trenches. What's good, YouTube? Mag Dog TV back with another video. If you're new here, stopping by for the first time, hit the like, subscribe button, comment. I really appreciate it. Also, click the notification bell. That way, whenever I upload a video, you guys be aware.
How you guys doing?
Good. These are a lot of the faces we'll see at practice every day. I'll give you the first one, then we'll open up for questions. Just how your time in Boulder has been so far.
It's been fun. My wife and my kids have enjoyed the snow. I came from Texas, College Station, Texas, so it was kind of cold, but, you know, it's not really cold here. Only when the wind blows, then it's really cold. But we've enjoyed it. My kids have been in the snow, and my wife has gotten used to Boulder, trying to find her way around. But it's been a lot of fun.
Hey, Coach. Jake Schwannis, DMVR Sports. You mentioned that you met Coach Prime a while ago, and he said that he was going to hire you one day. When he was coming to Colorado, did you know that that would be this opportunity for you?
I didn't. I was hoping it was, and God kind of answered those prayers. But I just remember I always thought about what he said when I was at the University of Georgia recruiting his sons, and it always, I can't lie, it was on my mind, you know, for years, you know, and I hoped that I would have the opportunity to come, and like I said, God answered those prayers. I got the call, so.
Hi, Coach. Adam Tiger, 24/7 Sports.
How you doing?
You're known as one of the top on-campus recruiters when you were at Georgia and Texas A&M. I'm curious, what has that experience been like, being able to get out on the road and add that responsibility?
It's been fun. I actually got a chance to get on the road at the University of Georgia when we would have coaches leave. You know, they would just activate me. So, you know, people like to say that about me, but one thing is I've had a lot of help, and I've had elite coaches around me to help me recruit. It's not just been me. You know, I have an unbelievable wife. She builds great relationships with a lot of my recruits' parents. And I have great coaches around me, you know, and that's why I think I'm a pretty good recruiter, is because I have great recruiters around me. So I learn from a lot of the older coaches, and, you know, it's kind of a process of elimination. You have to build good relationships with people. But I always wanted people to know that, you know, I recruit hard because I work with guys that recruit hard, you know, and I learn from them.
If you guys been following the channel and you've been paying attention to these interviews, because I've been releasing them every day, you would realize all of these coaches are very similar. Coach Prime has built an amazing set of coaches. All of these coaches are unselfish. They all talk about the next person, the next coach, or what it took to get here. They're never talking about me. And that's very rare. That's very rare to find a group of coaches with so much positivity and so much about the next person more so than them.
Hi, Coach. Nikki Edwards, U Sports Report. You played as a defensive back at Georgia. I'm curious, how did you fall into coaching the line and coaching kind of the front guys?
Well, I played some DB. I got moved to linebacker. I played in the Canadian Football League, and it was the jack position, which is the buck position for us. So I've had experience with rushing the passer. The more weight I put on in college, the closer I got to the ball. So I started off as a DB, and when it was all said and done, I was a outside linebacker in the Toronto Argonauts. So starting in the back end helped me better my understanding of coverage, you know, and so I coached the big ends, the defensive ends, and the buck position, which is a outside linebacker position. So he has coverage responsibility. So I've been able to grow my understanding of the back end from coaching those guys. And Coach Lanning told me at Georgia, he said, you know, hey, don't just be known as a D-line coach. Learn everything, you know, learn as much as you can. I'm passionate, extremely passionate about coaching the edge rush guys, because they're an important piece in this defense. But I'm a willing learner, and I talk to as many NFL guys as I can whenever I get a chance, and it's extremely important to me to be a great coach and demand that out of my players.
Hey, Coach. Tyler King, Denver Gazette. I mean, you and your coordinator, Charles Kelly, share something in common, that you both worked under Jimbo Fisher at different points. Just curious if you guys have talked about that at all, and what you personally learned working for Coach Fisher at Texas A&M.
Oh, we talk about it, you know, a lot, you know. But Coach Fisher, he's a brilliant offensive mind. I love watching film with Coach Fisher. Just the hear the offensive perspective on why they do things, you know. And then when I talk to Coach Kelly, his perspective on how to stop what they want to do. So, you know, I was in an unbelievable situation with Coach Fisher. I learned a lot. When I'm around Coach Fisher, I just be quiet and listen. You know, he's really, really, really smart, and he took care of me. He's a great guy. He has a great staff. I learned a lot from that staff. But it was fun. It was fun. He's high intense now. You know, he's an intense guy, and I love it. Yep.
Coach, you've mentioned in just some of the videos we've seen on YouTube that you like to show NFL film to recruits to show just how you project them fitting into defenses and stuff. Where did you get that from, and how far do you think that goes in the recruiting process?
Well, I remember being a player, and, you know, I watched a lot of film, and I watched film with my coaches, but I wasn't truly locked in, or you didn't have my undivided attention, you know, because I was young and distracted until you turned on some NFL tape, because that's where I saw myself. You know, and when I watched NFL film, I was all in. So that's kind of my philosophy of, and the other coaches do it, is, you know, I knew how I was as a player, and I know, hey, if you take a defensive end and you turn Von Miller on, man, you know, now you have their attention. So, you know, that's where they want to go ultimately. So I try to use NFL tape as much as possible.
That isn't a very good thing for Coach Williams to be coached by Jimbo Fisher. Everybody knows about Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. And you also hear about Coach Williams getting opinions from the NFL coaches as well. He seemed like he's very hungry. He's young. He can also relate to a lot of these players. He played the game before. Believe it or not, some of these players in the locker room can relate to some of the younger coaches as well. So it's good of Coach Prime to add some different flavor in there. You got some young coaches. You got some older coaches. You have some coaches with playing experience. You got some coaches with coaching experience. You put it all together, man, you have a real good organization.
Jordan Domineck made plays in both the ACC and the SEC. What stood out as you were evaluating him once he was in the portal, and what have been kind of your early impressions of him?
He's growing into a leader. He's a good pass rusher. I think he was like third in the SEC. So he works hard. He takes hard coaching well. I think I want him to get a little bigger, and I want him to stop the run, learn how to strike blockers and be physical, and, you know, just keep developing. He loves ball, you know, and like I said, he takes hard coaching. So I just want to push him to be the best he can be. He has personal goals that he set for himself, and I think part of my obligation is to help him accomplish those goals.
For those that don't know, Jordan Domineck is an amazing player. You mentioned he came out of the ACC and the SEC. We all know about the SEC. His career stats, 16.5 sacks, 137 total tackles, 2 touchdowns, 73 solo tackles, 7 forced fumbles, and his coach, Nick Williams, came from the CFL. I think he's going to be a great football player. That's one of the best traits to actually have, to be able to accept hard coaching. You know, a lot of these players these days, especially in this generation, don't want to be told anything. They get these NIL deals, these sponsors, they're being told that they're 5 stars, and a lot of times they don't want to listen to their coaches. Being able to accept hard coaching is key. It says that this guy really want to get to the NFL level.
So I'm going to push him, you know, I'm going to push him. But he's a good kid, great kid. Man, he'll be a good player for us.
Hey, Coach Ryan Koenigsberg, DNVR. You talked about that buck position a little bit.
Yes, sir.
It's an interesting position just with like the types of guys you can have fit into that area. Curious maybe who you might see fitting into that position for you guys, and also what you're looking for out of that position.
Well, I think Coach Hart hit it: smart, fast, tough, disciplined with character. You know, the defensive end position, physically, they look a little different because the buck position, you got to be, you know, a little athletic enough to stop the run in the run game, strike blockers, but then you have coverage responsibility, so you might have to cover running backs, tight ends out of the backfield. So I look for athletic guys. I like guys that play multiple sports, basketball, track. You know, I don't have a specified weight, but, you know, between 230 and 250. Guys carry weight different. I like long guys, long, lean guys that can get on the edge quick and affect the quarterback. But, you know, every guy's different. I truly love guys that love ball, that want to get better, you know, that I don't have to push them to come in and do extra. You know, they're kind of waiting on you outside of the door type. And but that's what I look for, you know, smart, fast, tough, disciplined, and with character. Yep.
All right, one more. Go ahead, Nikki.
I'm just curious, just what are some of the challenges and advantages in starting a new opportunity, just starting anew on a more clean slate?
It's challenging, but I love change and I love challenge. I'm around a lot of elite coaches, so they make my job a lot easier. If I don't know, I can just sit back and just watch. You guys just talk to one, Coach Hart. You know, I lean on him, I watch him. Coach Mathis, Coach Kelly. It's not extremely difficult when you're around elite coaches. You know, my dad taught me growing up, it's much better to seem intelligent than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. So a lot of times I just sit back and I learn through watching the older coaches that have done it a lot longer than me.
All right, thanks, Coach.
My final thoughts, it was a very good interview. Nick Williams is a very humble coach. Says a lot about his personality, considering he's played the game at a very high level and he's willing to learn. He always talking about the next coach. I've been uploading videos every day of new coaches. You guys can see the similarities. They're always talking about the next coach. They're never talking about what I've done. It's all about what this coach done for me. Says a lot about what Coach Prime has built around this coaching staff. These coaches have a combined of 244 years of coaching experience. Can you guys think about that? The opportunity for these players is right there. It's up to them. Either they're going to take it or they ain't. Upcoming video with Tyler Brown. Be on the lookout for that on February 12th. Drop a comment. Let me know some of the questions you guys want to help me with asking. I want you guys to be a part of Mad Dog TV. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here today. And if you guys like the video, definitely subscribe to the channel.